Have you ever wondered what really separates a struggling online business from one that's just crushing it? It's probably not what you think. Today, we're going to dive into the story of Bes Hernandez. She went from being a virtual assistant to building a $500,000 business, all because she discovered one huge secret. It's not about the flashy designs, it's about the system running behind the scenes.
And this right here, this is the core idea that changed everything for her. This quote kind of flies in the face of so much of the marketing advice you see out there, right? Everyone's telling you to focus on beautiful websites. But Bes figured out that while looking good is nice, the real engine, the thing that actually makes you money, well, that's a whole different story.
So where did this all start for her? Definitely not where you'd expect. Bes began as a virtual assistant for an ad agency, and she had absolutely zero background in sales funnels or marketing automation. And hey, if you're not sure what a sales funnel is, don't worry. It's really just the path a business sets up to guide a customer from just browsing to actually buying something. And for Bes, getting into this world was a complete accident.
So check out this timeline. It shows you how just one little task totally rerouted her entire career. She had her marketing degree, she was doing basic VA stuff like editing videos, but then a client asked her to just change some text on a landing page. And that one little thing opened up this whole new world. There weren't really any courses on this stuff back then, so she had to teach herself everything, basically through trial and a whole lot of error.
And all this hands-on experience, working in the trenches with real business owners, that's what led her to that huge aha moment we started with. She saw firsthand what was actually working and what wasn't. And it wasn't the pretty pages that moved the needle. It was the whole machine working behind them.
So what does she even mean by a system? Well, think of it as the whole package. It's the strategy that maps out the customer's journey, it's the smooth flow from one step to the next, and it's all the automation, the automatic emails, the instant access to courses that makes it all run without you having to do it manually. This is what lets a business grow without the owner completely burning out.
Okay, but here's the thing. When she started building these systems, she ran into a massive problem. A problem that honestly trips up so many entrepreneurs. It's the overwhelming, crazy complexity of all the tech you need to make it work. Let's just call it the tech tangle.
And this, right here, just shows you what a mess it was.
To build just one sales funnel, she and her clients were juggling 5, maybe 6 different tools. You've got one thing for the landing page, another for email, a whole other platform for the checkout, then something like Zapier to basically duct tape it all together, and then another platform for the actual course. It was like a digital house of cards just waiting to fall over.
And you can imagine, the stakes were just incredibly high. Like Bes said herself, it was super stressful because just one tiny mistake, one broken link, one failed connection could bring the whole sales process to a screeching halt.
So right when the frustration was at its peak, she stumbled onto a breakthrough. And this wasn't just a small fix. This moment completely transformed her business, and her clients' businesses too. You know how it is sometimes. The solution comes from a totally unexpected place. A friend just happened to recommend a single all-in-one platform called systeme.io. It promised to do everything those 5 or 6 separate tools were doing, but all under one roof. And yeah, that was the turning point.
And the results? They were just dramatic. Okay, so let's look at the numbers because this is where it gets crazy. Before simplifying her tech, Bes was enrolling about 15 students per launch for her coaching program, which is respectable for sure, but her fragile system was totally holding her back.
And after, look at this. Her enrollment jumped from 15 to nearly 50 students per launch. That's more than tripling her results, just by getting rid of all the tech headaches. The whole process was smoother, everything just worked. And this wasn't a one-off thing, it worked for her clients too. Get this, one of her clients had an amazing offer, but they were stuck in that tech tangle. After Bes rebuilt their whole business on a single system, they made more money in the first 7 days than they had in the entire previous 4 months combined. And here's the kicker, the offer didn't change, the system did.
So you're probably wondering, okay, how does she actually do this? It's a great question. All this success led her to create her own repeatable blueprint for building funnels that just work, and she calls it the ACDE Success Framework. And it's this really elegant, simple 4-step process. First up, you ask the right questions to nail down the strategy. Second, you collect all the stuff you need, the copy, the branding, the images, right at the start. Third, you design a basic wireframe so the client knows exactly what they're getting before you build it. And finally, you execute. You build the whole shebang all in one seamless system.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But what if you're just starting out and you're feeling totally swamped by all this? Well, Beskets has some super clear advice for exactly where you should focus your energy first.
Let's talk about the #1 mistake, the biggest pitfall that causes so many aspiring entrepreneurs to get stuck and, honestly, never even launch.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Over here on the left, you've got the overwhelmed beginner. They're trying to do everything at once. Build a massive website, create 5 different funnels, set up all these complex automations. And the result? Yeah, they get paralyzed. They never launch. But then, on the right, you have the smart starter. They just focus on one simple funnel with one clear offer. And because of that, they launch fast, they get real data, and they actually start seeing results.
So here it is, the key takeaway for anyone just starting out. Don't try to boil the ocean. Seriously. Just build one thing, make it work, and then you can scale from there. The goal is to get moving and let a simple system do the heavy lifting for you.
And that really brings us full circle back to the main idea of this whole story. Look, strategy is great, content is crucial, but if the system that's holding it all together is unreliable or super complicated, then none of it even matters. Real sustainable success comes from having a system that just plain works. So, as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. I want you to take a hard look at your own business or your own projects. Is the system you're using right now built for simplicity and momentum, or is it built for stress and complexity? The answer to that might just be the key to your next big breakthrough.